Hello and welcome to the CVCS Athletics Podcast. I am your host, Grady Sanchez. Today is Thursday, September 21st, and this is episode 3. I am excited to introduce my co-host, Shannon Baker. She is the underclassman academic advisor and a fan of all things sports. It's great to have you on the show this week and going forward.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Like Grady said, I am one of the academic counselors here at CVCS. I primarily work with the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders, and I am excited to be part of this and co-hosting with Grady, bringing you updates on schedules and scores and highlights throughout the year.
Thank you, Shannon, for being here. And just a quick reminder to give the CVCS Athletics Podcast a follow, a like, a subscribe, and a rating. You can find us on all major podcast streaming services such as Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Also visit the CVCS Podcast Network featuring shows from other faculty members, chapels, and students at cvcs.org/podcasts. Before we get into the action, I wanted to inform you that next week the high school and junior high will be on their annual retreat. It is a great time for the students and the faculty to build bonds over activities, meals, skits, and most importantly, the chapels and the worship. This is a special time of year, and everyone is so excited about it. Our speaker this year is none other than our head of schools, Marcus Choi. Retreat will be September 27th through the 29th in 2 campsites in Big Bear. We cannot wait for another exciting year of retreat. Let's take a break in the action to invite you to be part of the CVCS Israel trip this spring. The trip is March 27th through April 7th. They will be seeing all the major sites like Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Nazareth, Mount of Olives. They will be doing baptisms in the Jordan River and so much more. A once-in-a-lifetime trip that you definitely don't want to miss out on. Please reach out to the trip coordinator and Bible teacher, Aaron Bond, through the email address at abond@cvcs.org. Back by popular demand is the Life and Leadership Evening event led by the one and only Dr. Sean McDowell. Dr. McDowell is a teacher here at CVCS, an apologetics professor at Biola University, and a world-renowned author. The Life and Leadership event is a night of fellowship and conversation about raising a generation of students equipped to be disciples of Jesus Christ. You can register at cvcs.org/give. The event will be held Thursday night, October 19th at the Ocean Institute in Dana Point Harbor. It's a wonderful event. We're looking forward to seeing you all there.
Hey everyone, we invite you to come see Bye Bye Birdie on Thursday, October 26th through Saturday, October 28th, and support the CVCS Theater Department. It's set in the 1950s and stars Conrad Birdie, an Elvis-like music star headed for the Army. You don't want to miss it.
Now to bring you the results of the week. The girls' tennis team beat Tarbut Vitora, and the boys' football team beat Santa Rosa Academy in a close one, 7-6. Great job to all the athletes that played last week. Now Shannon's going to bring you the upcoming schedule.
Congratulations, athletes. This week, on Thursday, the 21st, the girls' volleyball team will be playing at J. Sarah. The girls' tennis team will be playing Fairmont Prep at La Habra Tennis Center. The boys' beach volleyball will be playing Tesoro on Thursday, the 21st, and then on Friday, they'll be playing Laguna Beach. Monday, the 25th, the girls' volleyball team will be playing Dana Hills. Tuesday, the 26th, girls' volleyball will be playing Webb. Tuesday, the 26th, the girls' tennis will be playing a home game. They will be playing against Western Christian at Dana Hills Tennis Center. Good luck, everyone.
On the show this week, we have Sheri Juarez, the head cheerleading coach. She has worn many hats on the CVCS campus over the years. She has been the cheer coach since 2019, and since taking ownership of the team, the program has doubled in the amount of girls and added a JV team. Sheri was a cheerleader back in her day and with lots of experience working with youth athletic programs. She also served CVCS in the Eagles Kitchen as a hospitality team member. And she ran the CVCS homeschool program for 5 years. She has 4 children, 3 of which have graduated from CVCS, and her daughter is a senior. She has a kind heart and a warm spirit for all things CVCS. Thank you so much for coming on the show this week, Sheri. We are so glad to have you here. Let's start off with, what has your experience been like at CVCS as the head cheer coach, a member of the Eagles Kitchen Hospitality team, and also a mom of 3 graduates, and you have 1 senior this year. So can you just shed some light on your time here?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you for having me. First, as cheer coach, this is my 5th year in the program. When I took it over, it was needing some rebuilding. So my goal as cheer coach when I took it on was to think about my personal experience as a cheerleader in high school, cheering at a big public school, what I could bring from that experience and make it the same here at CVCS. I wanted to take the girls to a real cheer camp, like one of the big nationally ranked organizations like USA Cheer, and so they can just realize what they could learn at a real cheer camp. And then from there, I had 10 girls, the next year 20. The following year, we did a JV team in addition to varsity. And then last year, we had 30 varsity cheerleaders. And now we're back to 22 on varsity and 10 on JV. So it's been great to see the program grow, bring along some assistant coaches and a JV coach, as well as just the retention. Like some of these girls are 4-year cheerleaders, 3-year cheerleaders. It's something they know that they can do just in the fall or all year. So I have a split season, and some girls stay on board all year long, and some just cheer football season because they want to go do another sport, which I fully support. Yeah,
because last week we had Anastasia on. She's a 4-year, and then Madeline Harris is a 2-year. So it's just exciting to see how your program has grown and doubling it since having. Wow, that's very impressive.
Yes, thank you.
And then we have lots of moms who are listening who are wanting to send their kids here for CVCS or are in the process right now. Can you just shed some light on what it's like to be a mom of many students through here?
Well, when I joined, CVCS is a little bit unique. I came in with my students being homeschool independent study students at the high school level. So we were here. It was a transition from homeschooling full-time since they were babies to my oldest son having his first day of traditional school as a senior. So it was pretty exciting for Adam to come here full-time his senior year. And then each child kind of followed in those same footsteps. Jacob was a sophomore, Aaron was a freshman, and then Jenna was a freshman. So I've only experienced high school here, but I've been very impressed with just everyone, the teachers, the staff. I've really appreciated how each teacher that my kids have had are fully invested in their education, their well-being, just their character, and just what my kids have taken away is sound biblical knowledge, going out there to choose different paths. One went to a private college, one went to a state college, and the other one's in junior college right now. So it's been neat to see how they've taken what they've learned here and applied it as young adults in the big world of college.
Yeah.
So yeah, being here as a parent and having my kids here, I wouldn't send them anywhere else. And that's a big ask coming from a parent who chose to homeschool their kids. Like I wanted complete control over their education. So feeling comfortable and that this was a safe place for my kids to be in many aspects meant the world to me. Like I just knew it was the next step for them.
I love that because we're thinking about the same thing as homeschooling early on, and then high school is definitely in the cards for my 2 daughters here, and I'm really excited for their time to come as Eagles. Speaking of little ones, you have little Eagles, am I correct? So
yes.
My daughter, she's 3. She gets her pom-pom. She's going. I see your little ones. Also, Mr. Walker and his little daughter has a cheer outfit. The little Eagles are just like, there's so much warmth coming from the little ones and seeing them work.
Adorable. Like they're just
so fun to watch them.
Cute and adorable, and their effort is just 150%, and they're loving it, and they look up to these high school girls and think they're just the best things in the world. So to have that 3-day camp where parents can let us take care of their kids for a little extra time after school and teach them cheers and a cheer dance, and to come out to a big Friday night lights football game with the whole school, it's exciting, it's fun. It's a way for us as a team to give back to our CVCS community, but it's also a great way for us to just mentor those young ladies. And even though they're kindergarten, they still remember. We'll repeat some of the same cheers year after year. So by the 3rd year, they're doing Little Eagles cheer camp. They're like, I know this cheer. And they start trying to lead the group in the little groups that we break off into. So yeah, it's been a great experience. It's been a pure joy just to watch how much the parents love it as well.
Yeah.
Cameras like this,
Oh, I bet. And then did that start with you, or how did that come about?
It's been a tradition here even before I was cheer coach.
Oh,
so,
okay,
yeah.
very cool. Yeah, one of those long-lived traditions here at CVCS
Yeah.
that we're very proud of and keep that thing running. Let's see. And then coming up with the cheers, you have to teach kindergartners. I know teaching high schoolers is its own challenge, but where do the cheers come from? Is it from your past? Is it from things that you've learned?
So some of our cheers have been around for many, 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 many years, and then others are new. When I first came on board, we had very few offense cheers, and I just asked the team, I'm like, well, where are all your cheers? And they're like, well, we just don't have any. So I'm like, well, let's get some. So just sourcing other schools, YouTube videos, we found some cheers we liked, so we adapted them to our school and our mascot. And then also going to cheer camp. We learn new material. That is one of the many reasons why we go to summer cheer camp is team bonding. It's 2 nights, 3 full days at an away university. It's been Vanguard the past couple of years, where the girls are just literally cheering all day from the moment they wake up to the time they go to bed. They're stunting. They're learning dances and choreography. New cheers, some of them we keep, and some of them we're like, nah, I think we're good not doing that one. But that's a lot of times where we're building to our, like I think I wrote down here, we have 35 different football cheers.
There we go.
35. That's a lot to remember.
That's right.
Yeah. So when we're up there and they call out another cheer, they have to know it. And then they have like 8 dances they know. So it's a lot of different gears of, changing gears for those young ladies when they're out there performing. But they do an amazing job.
They do.
How do you choose who gets to be the mascot?
We're actually really looking for a mascot right now. So if anybody out there would love to be our mascot, I would appreciate it.
Mr.
So do we have like an eagle?
We do have an eagle mascot costume.
Yes.
A lot of the students don't want to do it because they'd rather watch the football game with their friends, which I completely understand. We've had actually Adam, my son Adam, has been the mascot last year, and I think I might be a little biased, but he has been the best mascot.
It's always a guess. We're always guessing either it's a teacher, Miss Marty Day has shown up in some of the guesses. Who is that energetic and who is hiding behind the mask? And Adam makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes, and he loved it. Like he went to school out in Philadelphia, so he knew the Philly Fanatic from the Phillies team, and that mascot is very outgoing. He goes, Mom, I mirrored myself after the Philly Fanatic, and he loved it. He had fun. He was dancing. He was performing with the girls. And all the high schoolers would come down. Who is that? And I'm like,
it's always a mystery.
I don't know. I said it's a CVCS alumni. They're like, oh, I'm like 2017. They're like, oh, I'm not going to know that kid.
So the position is currently open or needing to be filled.
Yes.
There's probably some intermittent or intermediaries right now, but if you're out there and want to be the CVCS Eagle, we got a costume for you.
We do.
And then lastly, what is it like being a Christ-centered school, and then how does that attribute to your athletic program and just pouring your love of God into these young women?
I really had to think about that because we do things so naturally here. Like we always pray at practice. So to me, I mean, that just seems like a natural thing that we do. The young ladies on the squad, I think they need as much mentoring as they can get, in terms of staying focused on Christ. We often talk about modesty, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. And it's been, sometimes challenging to really resonate with them wearing proper clothing and performing to music that is appropriate for our school. It's just one of those things where in a secular world out there, there's just a lot of songs and things that we have to think
kind of gray areas.
Yeah, exactly. So we had these fun discussions last year, like, do you guys know what those lyrics mean? And one of the girls piped up and like, well, who listens to the lyrics? And I'm like, oh, we do.
Dad's not all about the beat.
Yeah.
Saying something back there.
So once you create awareness with them and try to make it a teachable moment, it works out and they understand, and this group of young ladies this year has been really good with modifying choreography when needed, understanding the approach of doing what's right. Anastasia has been wonderful. She comes in and like last year, and she's going to do it tomorrow at practice, but she'll run a short devotional with the girls. So I try to bring her in because first of all, she loves to do it. She's great at it. And I think it's really important that they get that peer-to-peer they receive it differently when they hear it from a peer versus
Absolutely.
from an adult.
Absolutely.
So I think that it resonates more with them and they connect with her. So I have no idea what she's going to talk about tomorrow, but I'm just going to let the Lord lead her and let her take care of it. But yeah, that's Christ-likeness. We thought about going to a Christian camp in the summer, but sometimes they fall short in dates and times and location and it's just, and like we just treat ourselves as a unique team when we're at camp. And if we need time to step away and pray, we do. Or if we need time to just sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what these young ladies need, is just talking.
That bonding time.
Very cool. I guess that last question wasn't my last one because I thought of another one, was just like, you're going to have prospective families listening to this. You're going to have lots of people listening, for a mom, for a cheer coach, for somebody who works on staff who's been here a long time. Can you just shed some light on maybe some of the high points and some of the growth moments that you've had as a parent and seeing your kids walk through this school?
First and foremost, I think for me it's been communication. And I've been blessed to be able to work here and have my kids go to school here. So I have that day-to-day interaction with the staff, the faculty, all their teachers, and just building that relationship and that rapport with not just my kids, but my kids' teachers who are fully invested in their education. So it's been great to pull them aside and say, how's he doing in class, or is she doing well? And just getting that perspective. I have that advantage being an employee here, so it's been a blessing. I think every parent that's considering coming here or is not sure if they want to stay, it's worth staying. It's worth holding out through for me, it's been worth seeing all of my kids go through CVCS High School and just where it's launching them into their young adult lives. Our oldest is only 25, so there's still a lot to say where life is going to take him. But it's been a pleasure just to see them happy. They're happy being here. And they're learning, and I really like how each year and with each student it's been a little different. And I know it's based on personality and learning styles, but it's just also because we're changing things as every year our school is trying to do it better. And that's what I really appreciate. Just everybody here is just so loving. That's what I have to tell you. It's just love and happy. I don't think I've ever met anyone that works here that's like not kind. Everyone is just sweet, kind, welcoming, always saying hello, like, let's take a moment and pray if they know you're going through something. Just that connection. It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
you're definitely known here, and that's kind of something that we stress upon as a faculty, and just knowing the kids and pouring our lives into them. And knowing the Juarez family personally, I coached Aaron his senior year in baseball, just the nicest kid. So nice, worked so hard. And then Adam, I work with Adam out in travel ball.
Yep.
Adam, the mascot. Adam,
the FCA leader.
Yes,
right?
Adam is, yes, I was going to bring up is he also does FCA here. We just had our first meeting this week. Yes. Coach Bonilla talked, and I heard it was fantastic. And Adam is doing a wonderful job just coordinating, and I'm in talks with him. And you guys heard the ad last week by Bo and Andrew, and just seeing how the Juarez family has been able to influence and still give back to CVCS, although they are alumni. And then Jenna here is on her last run, and looking forward to all that she's going to become too.
Yeah.
Sheri, you're also here as the hospitality team member, working in the kitchen with Chef Baird. You guys do an awesome job. The food is always
Wonderful
delicious.
We
appreciate the Thursday lunches.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite day of the week.
Right.
Last year it was Tuesday. This year it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Talk to us about the kitchen staff and what it's like working there.
So I started off part-time, just coming in to help serve lunch, and then it turned into a full-time position the last couple of years. And first of all, I want to say that working in the department with Chef Baird and my fellow coworkers, it's such a nurturing environment where we help each other out, sometimes unsaid. Like we get into a rhythm, we know what needs to be done. We pray together as a team every day, just over each other, over our school. Even our families here at CVCS, we include them in our prayers as well. So the kitchen is a constant moving machine. There's no 2 days that are the same. And that goes from our challenges creating menus with food supplies that we can get to how we prepare and what we can serve. And it's a very well-run machine, but it just takes like one thing to just like make it all go a little crazy sometimes.
That turns into Gordon Ramsay's chef show.
like the delivery truck didn't bring this item, and we're like, oh, so we're really good about switching gears, and our goal this year is to try new things. Mm-hmm. So we found, and every year's different. Mm-hmm. Our kids are loving this year. Let's serve more of that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're not crazy about that anymore. So it changes from fruit salad to the type of entrees we serve. But our in-house food is made from scratch every day.
Right.
The fact that we come in and make breakfast every morning for our junior high and high school community, and then we switched and quickly transitioned to lunch within like an hour to serve our kindergarten through 12th grade classes. So we serve a lot of people in a short amount of time. I always tell people that, like, you have no idea. It's amazing what we all are capable of doing when we work together as a team. So it's pretty amazing. And our events are phenomenal. Like when we feed all of the students for Eagle for a day, those 7th and 8th grade students that are coming in, the Thanksgiving feast, Grandparents' Day is coming up. We feed all the grandparents breakfast. That's a lot of eggs and a lot of sausage. I just see it. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of food. It's impressive what we're capable of. And we do get a lot of parent volunteers on those big events that help tremendously.
Yeah, the pancake breakfast. It's always fun to see who's going to be serving. Shout out to Javi Lopez. You never think a
who's going to
potential
be over there.
Hall of Famer, all-star is serving you pancakes. You're like,
pancakes.
Why am I serving you?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Super cool. The parents that we have here, the PACE program, they're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But just a testament to the kitchen staff is I get here early sometimes to record, sometimes to catch up on work, thinking I'm going to have to open the gate. And no, I already see Chef Baird's truck is in the parking lot. I already see Miss Panduro's SUV in the parking lot. And the golf tournament, I get here early just so that, because I go play. Yeah. And so I need coverage for that day. Yep. And they've been there making sandwiches, setting up all the food just so that the golf game goes on time, and it's just putting our best foot forward.
There's some very early mornings in that kitchen.
It is insane.
But it's such a great way for us to serve our CVCS community. Yeah. Because food is a social a social thing for everyone. Right. Everybody loves to talk around food and enjoy food. Yeah. And there's a connection. So when we can provide that service for our community, it warms our hearts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and when people rave about our food, we're like, yes.
That's right. Breakfast burritos.
So that got
Baldwin
rated
is a big
number one.
Guy.
Yes. He did once say, breakfast burritos from CVCS is the reason why I get up on Monday mornings.
That's right.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for that, he's just not sure if he could make it to school.
All of your services, Sheri, you have a heart for, again, all things CVCS. Mm-hmm. You serve in many capacities. So thankful to have you on staff.
Thank you.
I see you, and it's a smile every morning. I can see where the Warriors boys get it. Especially when our banquets go like 4 hours long. We have gotten better. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
The baseball banquets, shout out to Coach Chach and the lovely food and the detailed messages that he gives to each one of his players. The thought that goes into it is...
A lot of thought, definitely. Yeah. He is actually the reason why we came here. So like many families, it was Clemente Bonilla 10 years ago who was Adam's travel ball coach, and we connected through a homeschool family whose son played for him here, and that's how we ended up here, was because of him.
What are some of the memorable moments that you can take away from all of your time here at CVCS?
Okay, so my most cherished moments, of course, were watching my kids graduate from CVCS High School. Mm-hmm. Just that closing that chapter of their lives. And then also, my junior hires when they were here in the homeschool program graduating into full-time high school. So that was a big transition period for both of them. And it was very memorable. I just look back fondly on the many successes our kids have had, not just academically, but in terms of athletics. Adam, Jacob, and Aaron all had amazing baseball careers here at CVCS. All very different, but all very special and meaningful. And the fact that two have decided to go on and play after high school is just phenomenal. And then Jenna, her team winning softball CIF in 2022 was pretty exciting. That was something that the program had not done ever. Yeah. And the first league title, I think, in like 10 years or something like that. So I know the coach is super excited this year. of course, wants to try to make a run for it.
That's right.
Before some of his girls graduate.
We have a talented team.
We do actually. And the team is growing, so it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was also very exciting as being cheer coach to take my cheer team alongside the girls basketball team that same year in 2022 when they went all the way.
That's right. Another
and they
championship.
won CIF. It was so exciting to be there. I just had to tell my girls, this is the most exciting game. You have no idea.
Right.
And it was. We were at Desert Christian Academy, and the crowd was hyped, and the girls were excited, and bus ride home was fun.
Yeah.
And, it was a good time. And one of my other really big takeaways is the sense of community that we have here. So even though when our family, the Hall family, when they lost their son Logan in 2018, they were a big part of the baseball program with my sons, and he was right in the middle between Adam and Jacob in terms of age, and so they were all three really good friends. But to see how our community surrounded that family in one of their most toughest moments as parents was pretty darn special. And it not special in a sense, it was just heartwarming to know that we were just there for them, hugging on them, and just remembering him every year after that and celebrating his birthday. We still get together every Christmas Eve to celebrate his birthday. So, all those alumni players, and we get together and we meet, we eat, we talk, and we laugh. And just the fact that our community still carries through all of that after 5 or 6 years have passed. So.
Right. And just to shed a little bit of light and background on the Logan Hall, he played baseball, I believe, in 2018, and he had passed away mid-season from a heart condition.
Yes.
And now we do a Logan Hall Day where we do a service over at Pastor PJ's church at the Hills Church. All the baseball team, alumni, families, everybody shows up to pay their respects and remember Logan Hall because he was just a tremendous kid.
He was an amazing kid.
Was really just top quality character, and it was just such a blow to CVCS. And so we do keep that memory, and we do continue that tradition, and it'll be a tradition for as long as CVCS is still around because that is how impactful Logan Hall was to this program.
Yep.
And that's something that goes on to this day and will be carried on, which is really, really special.
Very, very, very special. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Quite the story.
Yeah.
Again, thank you to Sheri. Thank you to the Juarez family. Thank you to
You're welcome.
all the services.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on this week. It was a treat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
On the show next, we have two superb athletes, juniors Jack Gallo and Addy Ebrahimzadeh. Jack is a dual sport athlete playing football and baseball. He is a tight end and a linebacker for the football team and plays the corner infield for the baseball team. He is a leader on the football team and a captain on the baseball team. He is a solid young man with a great attitude and unbelievable work ethic. And Addy plays volleyball. She leads the team in blocks and is top 25 in CIF in blocks. She plays middle blocker and opposite hitter. She is a highly decorated player, helping her team to league championships and runs at the CIF championship. She is a great young woman that always has a bright smile and a cheerful disposition. Jack and Addy, you are shining lights here at CVCS. It is great to have you both here with us. Addy, we'll kick it off with you. How has your experience been here at CVCS?
It's been really great, actually. The kids here are so nice. The teachers are great, really helpful. I love it. Volleyball is great. Athletics are great. School-wise, the classes are a little harder than what I'm used to. But other than that, it's been great.
My experience has also been an amazing experience. When I was coming here in my 8th grade year and deciding of where I was going to go, a lot of the teachers would always tell me, and the coaches, they'd always go off this slogan of small school feel, big school opportunity, and that's exactly what you'll get here. And I've noticed that how you get the small school camaraderie. So it's more of a family here. It's not like a school with 2,000 kids and then you turn into just a number. I know every single kid here, first and last name. Every single teacher knows who I am. You build this true, real relationship with the teachers, students, faculty, everyone here, and everyone here knows what your goal is. And they want to see you succeed, and they're going to do their part to help you succeed, and you just got to do your end of that, which I know a lot of other places say that, but this is kind of the only place I've been at where they actually back it up day in and day out, and you can definitely feel the love in the classroom, on the field, in every aspect of the everyday life here.
That's awesome. Addy, to you, you were not here freshman year, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey to CVCS, starting as a sophomore here and then now junior?
Yeah. So I went to SVCS for 5 years. It shut down in 7th grade, and all of my friends and family moved here. But my sister and I, we couldn't afford to go to this school, so we went to Calvary Chapel in Costa Mesa. I went there for 2 years. My sister graduated, and I had been trying to get into the school for a while. I'd stayed and I'd watch all the volleyball games, and Coach Bond and Coach Katie were just like great. I've known all the girls here for a really long time. Most of my life I've known these girls even before I came here. It's just like it's a lot closer. My family's here. My friends are here. Volleyball was the main reason why I came here. There's a lot of other schools that I could have gone to, but volleyball-wise, we have a great program. We have great coaches. We have great players. Our team is amazing. So that was a bonus.
Yeah, after talking with Kelly Bond last week on her podcast, totally recommend, if you missed that one, to go check it out. Kelly is an awesome coach with loads of experience, and the volleyball program speaks for itself. Again, top 5 in Division 4 CIF, and then top 50 in the state, still going strong. Yeah, Kelly and her team and what you guys have done on your team, Addy leading in blocks this year, is just a testament to how great the program is and the culture that we're building, and it's great to have Addy as part of it. Super excited about that. Jack, for you, you came from Togethership, am I right?
Yes.
Cool. Can you talk to us a little bit about the transfer? I know that's a little bit different of a program, and also maybe your schooling before that led you to CVCS?
So when I was growing up, I went to St. Anne's preschool through 8th grade, and then I went to Togethership during COVID year. So I did a holdback year then, which Togethership was amazing, and I would 100% recommend a holdback year. What it does for you is outstanding. It gets you ahead academically, athletically, mentally. You become more mature, and especially for me when it was during the COVID year, because COVID kind of screwed up all things, how you'd have online schooling, seasons were canceled, all that. So if I went into my freshman year, I would have lost a whole year of recruiting, education, all that. And so then at the Togethership, what they did an amazing job was picking high schools, because sometimes you'll hear the term of like, it's not a 4-year decision, it's a 4D-year decision. So it's more than just the next 4 years of your life. It's going to set you up for life. And really when I was doing that, it's pretty easy to get caught up in the hype of all the big schools because they put on a good dog and pony show. They do an amazing job at recruiting and marketing and stuff. And so I was talking to more of the Trinity League schools or the big public schools, and I really didn't even know about CVCS. And I'd always kind of drive by there and I'd be like, that's that CVCS school. Like, that's Capo Valley. And I really just had no clue what they offered. I thought, it's a small school. Like, when I'm talking to them, I'll be nice to them and be like, thank you, but I'll probably go to one of the bigger schools because they seem like they were the best option. And then just me and my parents, we prayed on it, and it was a long couple-month decision, and we were just thinking, and just day in and day out, I was like, something just felt right to go to this school. I was like, it's like, once you think about it, it's like there's no negatives to this school. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And from the second I stepped on campus my freshman year, kind of going back to the love you feel at this school and the camaraderie and how everyone wants to see you succeed, and every single staff member will do whatever it takes to make you reach your full potential. And that's how I can't stress enough to people, to don't get caught up so much in the hype of the big schools and do what's right for you. Don't go where your friends are, stuff. And I didn't even do a shadow day here. I just talked with some people, and the praise that this school got, I was like, this school seems amazing, and I can guarantee you it is amazing. And I love every single day here.
That's awesome.
That's a good story.
One of my highlights with Jack is I had Jack in my Algebra 1 class as a freshman, and One of my favorites, again, was he has been the poster boy for football and baseball. He is the face of the franchise here at CVCS and just a wonderful gentleman and a young man to have at the forefront of the school. And he was working on his speech that he had to give to prospective 8th graders or prospective families in my math class. And I was, Jack, you working on math? He was, no, I'm writing the speech. I'm like, oh. Okay, I can either take this two ways. Either get back focused on math, or I can ask him what the speech is about. And he shed light on what the speech was about. I was like, oh, okay, we got bigger things to deal with than just math here. We need to make sure that Jack here, a freshman going in front of hundreds of parents and depicting what it is to be a student athlete here at CVCS, we got to make sure he sounds good and looks good, and making sure that we're putting our best foot forward. Jack, as the face, was already a good foot, and then now getting him dialed in with speech writing and sounding good was the next step. And it was just one of those moments as a math teacher to not only pour into the student in my math class, but pour into him as a person and as a person of Christ, and trying to lift up each and every one of them in doing so. And that was one of my first memories of Jack, talking about how great CVCS is for everybody. And I guess my own personal history was I used to teach at a place like Togethership, like a gym school hybrid. And for those holdbacks, for those maturing years, I can attest to it does wonders for the kids, and athletically and mentally. So good on you. Way to know yourself and know what your plans are, because not a whole lot of people are that self-aware and willing to do what's necessary for their own growth. So that's really cool.
I totally forgot about that story.
Yeah.
That was I'm bringing it back now, and that was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, you guys.
And that literally shows like how you kind of took it upon yourself to like now, like in other schools, they'd be like, I don't care. You're in my math class, you're doing my math. And it's like, no, now you're talking about real life things. I want to help this kid out.
Yeah.
He has to write a speech, so we can do math after. But right now, I want to help this kid to develop life lessons to be able to speak in front of all these people and write this. I remember that. I presented to the whole class, too.
Yeah.
I got up in front of the whole class, and I was like, hi, my name's Jack.
And Jack, like, you guys say these stories right now, and then in the future, like a few years from now, you're going to think back and see God's plan and realize what these steps were, why you went there, why you started here, why you met these people, and you can just see God's path and his direction and his hand guiding you guys.
Yes, and especially how it's like you don't know God's plan, because once again, like I can't even stress enough how it's like if I used to take my baseball team, the OC Hawks, we used to practice here when I was like 8, and I would like come here and hit, and I'm just like, this is a high school? I never thought they could fit that in. And like if someone told me then that they're going to be like, Jack, you're going to be going to high school here, I would have been like, you're crazy. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest high school ever. And now it's kind of done a full like 180, because now I'm telling kids that were in my shoes 10 years ago, I'm like, you got to trust me on this. You got to come to this school. I'm like, if you want to like grow and develop and be the best you can be on and off the field and in just all aspects of life and grow closer to God, like this is the school that you're going to want to do it at.
Yeah, love that. And I guess that just reminds me, we'll just trade stories back and forth here. It is when I was looking for colleges, I was getting recruited for baseball. I played tournaments at USD. I played tournaments at San Diego State. And my dad's like, hey, let's just drive through UC San Diego to see if they have a baseball field. And I was gassed from like 3 or 4 games that day. We drove through the campus. Well, my dad drove through the campus. I fell asleep. I didn't even look at the campus. Don't even remember the whole thing. And then, sure enough, two years later, I'm getting recruited by a school in San Diego. UC San Diego knocks on my door, and lo and behold, I get an offer there, and that's where I chose to go. So it's just one of those things where you really don't know what God's plan is, and sometimes it's bigger and better than you can ever imagine. And what he puts in front of you is just like, wow, that is a true gift. So it's a pleasure to have you both here. Addy, you add so much to the volleyball team. Jack, you add so much to the baseball, football team, and the student body as a whole. You guys do a wonderful job. And then, so going into your sports volleyball program, again, hot start. Addy, how are you guys looking right now, and what do you guys look to build off of?
I'm feeling great about the team this year. I think we're the strongest we've been in a couple years. I'm really excited we're playing on Thursday at J. Sarah.
Yeah, I want to go so much.
I am so excited to play. And then on Monday we play Dana Hills. I am hoping to win. I think we can win. I think we can take it to 5, hopefully. That's the plan. I mean, 3 would be great, but 5 is probably where it's going to go. We've got the strongest defense we've ever had. Our offense is strong, but we're not a tall team, but we build each other up, and that's what helps the most, just like staying loud, staying competitive. We are a very competitive team, which helps. But volleyball looks great right now. Coach Katie, Coach Bond, we all want to win. We all want CIF. We got second CIF last year, second state. Second is not bad, but it doesn't feel very great, you know? It's nothing compared to winning at all. So I think we have like the best chances to winning CIF and state this year. So that's our plan, go all the way.
That's right. Number 1, the championship is right there, highly ranked right now. One thing I wanted to focus on was that small school big opportunity. Again, you're listening to the teams that we're playing on the upcoming schedules, on the results, and we're coming out with W's. We're playing J. Sarah this week on the volleyball court. Big school.
Big school.
Big name. And we're going toe-to-toe with them, battling with our sights to win. It's not sights to just compete and be there on the court, but it's to win. And that's day in and day out for the volleyball team, and not just them, but beach volleyball, baseball. A lot of sports are big-time opportunities, and that's just an testament to our coaching program, our student athletes, and their hard work to go compete with the best of them. Jack, how's it been playing football and baseball?
It's been amazing because, once again, one of the main reasons why I came to this school was to play 2 sports, because a lot of the other schools would be like, okay, great, football wants me for football, baseball wants me for baseball, and they aren't going to work together, and that's what separated this school with so many, because even still to my junior year, Coach Chach and Coach Presler do such an amazing job of communicating with each other about my schedule. And so, like, say summertime, I have football in the morning, and then second football is done, then you can go over to the baseball game. But Chach specifically schedules the games in the afternoon, so the football guys can play football and then go over to baseball. None of the coaches are ever going to make you pick. They want you to play multiple sports, keep you an athlete, and
Good.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a big thing that a lot of school or people say it, but I've heard of a lot of stories that it's like they made my son pick like after freshman year, and if you don't pick, then they'll show it in a way like they'll treat you differently. All that stuff.
My son was a 3-sport athlete: football, basketball, baseball, and as he got older and into high school, it was more just unspoken, strong-armed. You have to pick.
Yeah.
Although I don't think those words were specifically spoken. You have to, make a choice. But he felt it too.
Yeah.
But not here.
Yeah, the beauty of coaches working together and us wanting to build young men, young women as a whole, and making them well-rounded academically, athletically, and also the fine arts, because we have lots of boys in the choir program, and last year they crushed it, and I'm looking forward to more choir practices, but we have plenty of well-rounded individuals and a student body. And then final question for you both. How has your team and community at CVCS strengthened your relationship with Jesus?
I would say definitely, because I have been to 2 other Christian schools. SVC was amazing, one of the best schools I've ever been to. Calvary was a Christian school. We had Bible, but it wasn't like this. Like this school, you'll be talking about math, and all of a sudden you're like talking about God, talking about Jesus. Same with science and stuff too, which science makes more sense, but math doesn't really, but we do it here. I know Coach Bond and Coach Katie have always made it for us to talk about God. We do devotionals before practice. We pray all the time. We just always have like Jesus and God and everything mixed into our practices, which is great. Something that you definitely have to get used to, because you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to volleyball and now we're praying in the middle of the court. Like, it's a new thing to get used to, but it's great. It's definitely strengthened my relationship with Jesus. I went to church always my whole life, but we never really went to church. We never made it a priority to go. And now I've been going with some of my friends. Peter Kelso is one of our coaches, and he's like best friends with my sister, and I've started going to church with him in the Rock Harbor Church. And then I've been going with some of my friends, like reaching out. We go to different churches, try new things, which thinking like freshman year, I would never do that. It's not something that I would ever do, but it's been great.
Awesome. And then, Jack, how about you with the football team, your friend system? How's your relationship grown with Christ?
My relationship has grown a lot with Christ since coming here freshman year, and kind of what Addy was saying, every single day after football practice, after baseball practice, we always huddle up in a group prayer, or before game days for football, we always have chapel led by PJ, and when PJ or Pastor Jeff is one of your coaches for football, you're definitely always reminded of it every single day, so that's always good. And then baseball, Coach PJ is also out there for baseball, that's so right. He also reminds us.
Many talents.
Yes, he does it all. And for baseball, we also do devotionals, so it goes like seniors, juniors, the varsity team does it, and then once we get into CIF, the coaches do it, and it just kind of makes you kind of step back for a second and realize that you're honoring God in everything that you say and do out on the field also, and that God has given you these talents, so you should always honor him when you're out in the classroom, on the field, and all that. And Coach Bean, I love when Coach Bean says this because he always reminds us that sports are not our God, but God is our God. Sports are a tool for us to honor God and stuff that we do. So it's very easy to get caught up in the everyday grind of sports, and you have to remember that God gave you these talents to play sports to show God's glory through them, and so you're showing your God's glory in everything you do.
That's awesome. I love that Christ-centeredness of the school of CVCS and the athletics. The coaches do a great job of implementing that. Thank you both for coming on today. You guys were awesome. There's just learning so much as I'm doing these interviews about how great you guys are and how much work you guys put in to be the best selves. And continuing to learn like what faculty members and how we can help you continue, because your story is similar to others. So thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing the rest of your seasons playing out and taking championships all the way down to the title. Love it.
Staying healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next week will be a lighter week because the high school will be on retreat September 27th through the 29th. We will have our first alumni interview with Andre Antone, a pitcher for UCI. We have lots of exciting content, and we're excited to share with you.
Thank you all for listening today. Please follow, like, rate, and share the show. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, and please check out the CVCS Podcast Network for more CVCS-related content.
It is so exciting to hear all the buzz of who is listening and all the great reports of the show. Thank you all for listening. Eagles Country, let's fly.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. Capistrano Valley Christian Schools is a Christian JK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Be sure to check out, subscribe to, and leave a review of this show and the other shows on our network on your podcast player of choice. Doing so supports the school community in a multitude of ways. For more information about the CVCS Podcast Network or any of our other shows, check out cvcs.org or email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the whole network, this is Mr. Jasper saying thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for more.